Everybody, you're on with My Two Cents, and I am your host, Pastor Steph.
I'm Shanti.
And I'm that Brooklyn guy, Ainsley.
All righty. We hope everybody's doing well. And we just got finished last week with reviewing the 2024 Writers Guild Awards.
Yeah.
And if you're in the room, make sure you're checking in. So we're going to say hello to our girl, Ketty. Hey, Ketty.
Hey.
Hey.
All right. So make sure you let us know that you're in the room, and I hope you're in the mode of reviewing today. You know, My Two Cents is a TV and movie review show. And, you know, the three of us just give our 2 cents, and we invite you to do the same. Come on, join the conversation. So if you know somebody who's not doing much at this time, tell them to come on in the room. Come on in the room. So last week, we were deciding how we were going to move forward and what we would be reviewing. And we received 2 different suggestions, one for a movie, one for a series. The series that was suggested was The Cleaning Lady. So, ladies first, Shantice, we're going to give you first dibs, but before we start, we're going to get that description of The Cleaning Lady, and that is when whip-smart Cambodian doctor Tony De La Rosa comes to the United States for medical treatment to save her ailing son, she soon discovers her path won't be as straightforward as she had hoped. So this has been a show. It is now streaming on Fox, it's streaming on Hulu, and it's streaming on HBO Max. So you have a lot of different areas that you can actually view this from. Now, I don't know about Shantice and Brother Ainsley, but I have not heard of or seen any of these people who are starring in this series. We've got Elodie Young, who is playing the Tony De La Rosa, the primary role, starring role. We've got Don Canto, who's playing Armin Morales. We've got Eva De Dominci, and she's playing Nadia. And we have Oliver Hudson, who's playing Garrett Miller. So, you know, the list goes on, and, you know, we'll stick around possibly and see more of these faces. But we got to check it from our friend Serge. Hey, Serge.
Hey.
Hey, what up, Serge?
All right, Shanti. So what say you about The Cleaning Lady?
What say you?
It was interesting. I watched the first season. Starting out, you know, some actors have such a distinct voice, because when it started out, I was like, wait, is that my man Otis from Temptations? And it definitely was. So I was really happy to see a familiar face. But with it being a cast full of people that I don't recognize, it was actually pretty good. It had its little slow moments at one point where I was like, I think like around episode 5 or 6, I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm going to finish this season. But I was like, you know what, let me just see. It did kind of have me a little interested still, like, well, what's getting ready to happen with this boy, with this little boy? Is he ever going to get this operation? Goodness gracious. And I'm happy I did actually push through that kind of like dull moment, because the ending of season 1 was kind of like, okay. But what led up to the ending was like, wow. Okay, so they did pretty good. They did pretty good without it having to really be about a drug cartel necessarily. You know, so I was like, God, I don't want to have to be about drugs for me to be like, ooh, what happened? It was actually good. The storyline was good.
Okay. What do you think of the writing?
The writing was good. I think the writing, each character had their own type of language that fit them. So you kind of like knew how they were gonna speak, or once they said something, it's like, okay, that sounds like something they would say. So the writing was pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay, what do you think of the acting?
The acting was good. From the adults to the children. You know, the main character, she's staying with her best friend / sister-in-law, who has 2 teenagers pretty much. They were pretty good. They didn't do a whole lot of acting, but the scenes they were in, they were really decent. Everyone was good. Everyone was good. The one-liner people were pretty okay. The acting was pretty good.
Okay. Brother, we got a check-in from our friend KL. Hey, Pastor KL.
KL, that's my dude. That's my dude right there.
The search says it caught his attention. So listen, make sure you jump in, give us your thoughts, give us your comments, let us know what you thought. So Brother Ainsley, it's on you. What about the cleaning lady?
I thought it was interesting because I wasn't familiar with this at all. I never heard of it, and so even watching, I watched the trailer. You know, the synopsis was all about. I'm like, I never saw something quite like this before, and so it kind of grabbed my attention. Surprisingly, I didn't fall asleep on it because most time I fall asleep on these movies and TV. I thought it was good. Like you said, I wasn't familiar with none of the actors. But there was one, he just reminded me so much. I'm like, it can't be him. The one who plays Armando, he reminded me, I know I'm going back on some age, but he reminded me of, if everybody remember Scarface, Manny.
Yes. I remember.
He just reminded me of that that lovable criminal, if you will.
Okay.
And so I kind of related him. He just reminded me so much. Had the look and the language, the dialect, and so much of that. So I'm not familiar with none of the actors, the actors, the actresses, but I think everybody played their part really well. So it was like it wasn't a matter of I don't believe the characters. Everything was very believable. It was an easy fit. It seemed like every role was made for that person. Or they made the character their own. I thought it was pretty good. I didn't get through the whole season, but it has my attention. So I think I'm up to episode 7 or 8, and of season 1. And so when I started watching it, I want to make sure I don't see the next season or the next episode, the synopsis. I don't want to know what's going to happen.
Okay.
Right, but it's good. I like it, and it's going to hold my attention for a good while. So I think it's 3 seasons with this, right?
Yeah. So far, they're up to the third season.
Third season, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think it's good. I'm like, well, where I've been? I've been missing this, man. This 3 years, and I'm missing it. So
okay.
It's good. It's good.
Okay.
Good watch.
Okay.
Here we go. Here we go now.
It's not bad. I'm trying to think of how I want to put this. Now, I did see when the cleaning lady was premiering. It wasn't something that I was actually going for. I wasn't, enthusiastic about seeing it. I did say, I would at my leisure check it out.
Okay.
The first episode definitely caught my attention, and as I've been, going through the episodes, it's a little different. Again, it's not like Shanti said, it's not the drug cartel and things like that. More of like like the mob gangster type of right, moderate lifestyle, not that hardcore so far, at least. It was interesting. The premise was interesting that she's coming here from another country trying to get her son well. He has this condition, this medical condition. So I thought that was, interesting. I thought it was interesting that she paired herself with her sister-in-law / best friend. And, I was trying to figure out, I said, okay, are they going to continue this storyline with, let's say, she's going to be trying to get her son well and working as a cleaner for this mob.
Mhm.
And I thought it was interesting that they then threw in the angle of now she's a CI. So I thought, I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. So I think it's going to add a little more spice because, it typically you're always on edge. So in one episode, she was almost caught, and it's always one of those things. So whenever they're working as a CI or someone that, no one really knows, then, hey, you end up with that nail biting, are they going to get caught type of thing.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I said, okay, so I see how they're going. So, it's worth me continuing. I'm hoping that it'll pick up. It hasn't really grasped my attention. I was just looking at it because that was our agreement. But I'm hoping that as it goes on, because sometimes shows don't hit you the first season. It's not get into further seasons that they actually pick up your attention. The writing I thought was okay. It was interesting. The acting I thought was well cast. I thought that you didn't see something that or somebody you're like, oh brother, no, everybody is well cast. So it's okay. We got a check in from Ketty. It was different. I enjoyed the cleaning lady. And we've got from Anika, I was gonna watch, but Hulu only starts at third season. Yeah, which was kind of weird that they started at third season. And what I'm noticing is, I don't know how many of you noticed, but on demand, they don't necessarily take you back to the first season either. So it's like so whack. I'm like, yo, they make you pay for the first couple of seasons now. If you want $1.90, yes. It's like $1.99 an episode. And I'm like, yo, I'm already paying for your channel. What are you talking about? So it's real funny. So the fact that this is on Hulu at the third season, and they don't have the first two seasons, and it'll probably take a couple of minutes. They'll get them all because it's happened before. SWAT, they did it with SWAT. They did anything with CBS, they did that with. They as a matter of fact, they weren't even offering CBS shows on Hulu unless you paid like the top tier. Okay. But after a while, they did actually start, ooh, I need some. So we'll see. But if you've got HBO Max, you can see it from the beginning. So that's a good thing. Betty said, Serge says, yeah, Hulu does that. I don't know why. Ketty says it gets better. And Nika says might be the networks. Well, that's my point. It probably is the network. But if the remember now, when we pay for cable, we're paying for that network. We are literally paying for each network. Right. So you're telling me that I'm paying for your network, and now I can't even see all the shows. Then my thing is, you're the one losing. Because if I can't pick up anything before the third season, I'm going to watch it from the third season. So you don't get me watching your channel or your network at all. So that's like real dumb. But Shantice, cleaning lady, click it or kick it?
I'd say click it.
Okay. Ainsley, cleaning lady, click it or kick it?
I'm going to click it. I'm going to give it a click.
All right. And I say give it a click. We'll see.
What crossed my mind with this, with all this immigration stuff going on, it kind of made me think, is something like this really going on in real life?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
somebody's coming here that really got some professional skills, but of course they're illegal, so they gotta, do the minimal kind of work. It just kind of make you wonder, how many of this is really going on, or similar situations going on in real life.
It's true. It's very true. Um, she's supposed to be a top doctor from Cambodia.
Yeah.
And and like you say, here she is cleaning because her son needs medical care, opposed to staying back in her own country and doing what she does and what she does well. She throws her medical hat in the ring every so often.
Mm-hmm.
So it shows that she knows her stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. We got a click it from Surge, and we got You Never Know. You're right. Never know. Hey, Vivian is on the line and she's joined us. Hey, Viv.
What up, Viv? Viv.
All right. So, any last thoughts on Cleaning Lady? All right.
When the cleaning man gonna come out?
What'd you say?
When the cleaning man gonna come out?
You know what? He was already here. Call Ray Donovan.
Oh, goodness gracious! I hope that that husband didn't do something with him. He's annoying.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Well, he misses his son.
No, you ain't finished it. Finish it.
Oh, okay.
It's beyond missing somebody's son. He's annoying.
All right.
Oh, I didn't finish the first episode. I'm up to the episode 8, and I'm gonna. I mean, I can understand his point of but it's not over the top. But it's
all right.
All right.
We'll see. I haven't gotten to episode 8 yet, so we'll see the next time we chat about this thing here. All right. Next, we reviewed the movie Shirley. Netflix's Baby, starring Regina King. And the premise of the story, in 1972, the first ever Black Congresswoman, Shirley Chisholm, launched a trailblazing campaign to become the President of the United States. Now, this has a heavy hitter cast. You've got Regina King. You've got her sister, Regina King, who plays her sister, Muriel. You've got Lance Riddick, who's no longer with us, which I was very surprised. He was in it. Right. You've got James Howard. And you've got Brian Stokes Mitchell. You know him. He played the father on Jumping the Broom, amongst other things. And Amira Van, and she plays Diane Carroll. Yeah. So you've got some nice hitters here. We got, now this I thought was really good, great actor. I'm assuming Lance Riddick is who Serge is talking about. Ainsley, you got first dibs on Shirley.
Yeah, so when Regina King, she was doing this, I was like, okay, I want to see this. Because you know what, on more personal, right, I was really interested in this because, I'm from Brooklyn, that Brooklyn guy. And but it just so happens that, at the time in the 70s, I was a little thing at that time. So you recall at the time, I never forget, it was like kindergarten, right? I know there's a big talk, oh yeah, the first Black woman president running for president. As a kid, you don't really understand what's going on, but you just hear all this talk and stuff like that. And so it just turned out that one of my best friends from elementary school lived right next door to where Shirley Chisholm is.
Wow.
Right on Brooklyn Avenue. Well, she ain't dead no more. She on Brooklyn Avenue between Eastern Parkway and Union. Right, live right next door. I never saw, this is like years later. And, just in context of the area and stuff like that, I was like, oh, I'm just like right there, but just too young to appreciate the gravity of what was going on.
Right.
The movie was interesting because I didn't know all the hell she went through trying to get the nomination and stuff, all the wheeling and dealing and stuff that was going on. Well, we know there's a lot of wheeling and dealing in politics anyway, but for her and from our own kind to get there. It was very. I like historical pieces when it's done really nice, unlike Oppenheimer. But uh, I thought it was really good, very well put together. There's a lot of stuff in there I did not know. It was a really good watch. Great. I think of course, the acting was on par. I think the writing was good. The chemistry between the actors was good. I think it was a good. It's also a good learning experience, just to see what I went on behind the scenes. Yep.
Okay. Shantice, what say you about Shirley?
Well, I absolutely love Regina King, so I knew I would love the movie. She looked a lot like her too. They had her looking like her. She did a phenomenal job playing Shirley Chisholm. The accent, I didn't realize Shirley Chisholm had any type of accent. I loved how they were able to incorporate a little of her personal life, like the story with her sister, along with, the whole story of the candidacy. I didn't realize that she actually ran for president. I just knew that she was someone who made a huge difference in the political and kind of like civil rights arena. So it was really interesting to see that. Of course, once I saw Terrence Howard on the when you go to Netflix, they showed the picture of Regina King and Terrence Howard. I was like, oh, already. So this movie gonna be crazy. Really, really, really enjoyed it. One of the things that I kept having to rewind the scene where I think it was when they were introducing the campaign manager to the team, and she mentioned everyone by name and then pointed to her youth coordinator, which was the young white kid, and he kind of looked at him like, oh, you have him on your team? And she pretty much set him straight, and then Terrence Howard winked at the young kid, and I was just like almost in tears, because we know how much they push hatred towards, this is supposed to be a black team, and that's how the campaign manager felt, and even so to see that dynamic, how he was so like, I want to work with you. I sat in your classes or whatever they did prior to him working for her. It was just like, I love being around you. I love being able to learn from you. And he was just like so kind of like uncertain about himself. And she was like, I'm not trying to hear that. I want you. You're capable. And he was like, well, I have to call my parents. And she just put the phone in front of him like, okay, so call your parents. Let's go. Let's and it's just like, color didn't matter to her, and especially when she went to go visit the opponent who got shot.
George
Wallace,
white man.
Yeah. Right. And everybody was in uproar because she went to go visit a white man. And she's like, listen, I'm a Christian first. And there goes that, that moral courage. So it showed that, yes, she was in it because she wanted to make a difference, but she understood that certain things have to be in place. And that means how I am as a person, because with or without this candidacy, I'm still a Christian woman. I still have to, I can't turn my back on the desire to want to go check up on him just because he's my white opponent. Like, that's whack, and that's one of the reasons why she's so memorable, because of not just what she did, but who she was as a person. So it was a really, really, really good. I love the song at the end. I love that. I gotta Shazam that and get that. But it was a really, really nice layout. The writing was really good. The acting, of course, was really good. Yeah, it was. And without they having, how it was a good movie too, because there wasn't a whole lot of drama, but yet it was still a good movie. And it's like, wow, you can have good movies without all the crazy drama and the riots and this one getting murdered and killed and da da da. So it was, yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Okay. We got love the background story to her candidacy from Anika. Serge says, yeah, I didn't learn about her in social studies back when. I would know there were black people who ran for president. And we've got I thought Regina King. Oh, learned that Shirley was Guyanese. I thought Regina played Shirley good. And I like the movie too. Really deep, made me want to know what happened. So Shirley, actually, I happen to love Regina King as well. So it automatically had my attention, and I had no idea of Shirley Chisholm's story. I too was about 6 years old in 1972 when all of this was going on. So I was a little too young to really pay attention. So I was very surprised at the story. I was really surprised, but very proud. When the story first comes on, it tells you in all of these Congress members, there were only a few blacks. There were only a few women, but there were absolutely no black women. And I remember the name Bella Abzug. She was a Jewish woman. And they talked about her when we were in school, and you knew she was in Congress, but I never knew that she was actually at the same time of Shirley Chisholm. You never knew this. So I was very interested in the story once I got into it, and I started actually understanding some of her plight, like has been said, from her own people. I couldn't understand, I understood the concept of black and white. You're standing on black, you're standing on white, but I couldn't understand what was the big deal with her visiting George Wallace in the hospital. It meant nothing at the end of the day, as far as the actual campaign, but the people. And it just really shows that you can't follow what people do, what people say. Shouldn't have been no big deal about that. But I was very proud that she took the stand. And if you notice, she was just a woman of standard. She took her stance. It wasn't a popular one, and it didn't matter to her. And she was very encouraging to not only the young white guy, but to the young black girl,
right,
who she picked up in college. And at the end, they showed, how she had, come up in her own ranks.
Right.
And it was a really good story to watch. What I thought was really interesting was when she wanted to keep going, and the husband was over it. He was like, "Yo, we're losing money. We've put all of our, we put $30,000 of our own money in this, blah 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 blah." And he was like, "Well, why do you want to keep, pouring money into this campaign?" And she finally got that fed up and said, "Because it's my money."
Yeah, I was like, "Oh,
yeah."
Yeah, she was like, that was like a bang.
Yeah, that too. I was like, oh.
Yeah. It was like, she was like, "Listen, why you keep pressing me? I've made up my mind already." But you know what? He got exactly what he deserved. He didn't, she understood the way he felt, the way everyone felt around her. And it's got to be something to be on your own tangent, knowing that you can do this, or feeling like you can do this. You're fighting against your very sister.
Right.
She didn't even have that support from her sister. Her father was no longer here to give her the support. And yet you've got this husband in your ear. And when she gave him that response, I was like, oh yeah. It's a harsh thing to say, but it was really good. I was glad to see Lance Riddick.
Wait. Let's go back real quick so I can make sure. So, Pastor Steph, am I allowed to tell my husband to shut up because it's my money? I just want to make sure. Because when she said, I was like, "Oh, we get to say that, Jesus?"
Oh, you can take it a step further.
Don't tease me with a good time. Wait, we get to say that? Do we get to say that?
Because y'all, it went a little bit further. Because you realize, after a while, Terrence Howard, she became her man afterwards.
Yeah. Yes. Yes,
And
at
I
the
kind of knew
end.
that by the way he grabs her hand by that piano.
Yeah, I was like, oh, look at here now.
Yes. Yes. And I was really glad to actually see that that's what happened, because I kind of knew that her and her husband were going to divorce. But I really didn't know that she would end up with the Terrence Howard.
We started seeing the little googly eyes. I'm like, uh-oh. One of them things, okay.
Anytime you get like the spouse is no longer supporting you like that, but now someone else, especially if there's someone else or someone on your team, that's like, oh man.
Yeah, that's
you
a recipe.
Be leaving that door open. You can't.
That's that's a recipe.
Open, bruh.
Yeah. We got some comments. I like the movie too. Really deep. Made me want to know what happens. It did give you that proud feeling that she pushed past obstacles for the highest office. We got, because he was a racist, but I love that she put God first to show love no matter what the color is. And the young girl is in Congress today. Yes. And somebody says, oh, I noticed that too. He was always there for her. And that's what ended up happening. And it's true. When you I think a lot of times this is the make it or break it period for couples. When you see, somebody really pursuing something where all odds are against them. And, Pastor Carol always says, if he's 50 and he still wants to be a rapper, you need to kick him to the curb. And, this happens. It's very common, when someone's on the trail to being someone big, their relationship kind of, becomes real strained. And there was some jealousy. I'll give it to you first, Shantice.
Absolutely. It was at what point? I think I sensed it in that scene. It was not really so much what he said, but how he said it. Kind of like, why are you still continuing? And and it's like, have you, of course, it's not like he was really saying anything wrong, because in the natural, that's how you're looking, especially when it's now taking our personal money to fund this. Of course, now you're going to be looking at what's lacking. Okay, now we're taking from the house to pay for this, but if you pay attention to how devoted the person is, and they're devoted to something that is not, she wasn't making it about her. It's different if we're doing something like the 60-year-old rapper. It's about me, especially at 60. I have to make it about me. I'm gonna be dead soon. Okay, so I gotta hurry up and get popping and all that in my 60s before I die, so that now I can be memorable after I die. She didn't care nothing about her. She just wanted to, and she proved it in the end. She said, listen, it's now time for me to bow out. But I made it known that it's possible that another Black woman can actually run. And maybe they'll be the one, but I'm the one who, and it reminded me of something that, if anyone ever saw the Tupac movie, that was the last clip that they played of him at the end of the movie. He was like, I'm not saying I'm the one who's going to change the world, but I'm going to be the one who's going to spark the person who is going to change the world. And I think that's what was so admirable about Shirley Chisholm. It's like, yeah, I want to be able to do this, but most importantly, I want to be able to see the change. And if that means that I'm going to be the one to make the change, but yeah, but of course too, women are fighting the male thing. Also, look at how the guy kept coming to her every morning. So I can't believe you in here making the same 42.5 as me. And
yeah.
$2.50.
Yeah.
Who's 42.5?
How
much that was? 42.5 was what?
42,500 annually.
It's a salary.
Oh, okay. I said $42.50. Really great. Yeah. So but I didn't know what it meant. It's 42.5. But either way, it's already this. We're married, but yet you're dominant, and I'm on your team. So already, you kind of sliding me. So I feel a little slighted. So yeah. I believe he felt jealous.
Okay. We got a check-in from our girl, Teresa. Hey, Teresa. Anika says, indeed, at Shantice. Ainsley, do you think there was some jealousy from Mr. Chisholm?
I don't know if it was really jealousy, but I'm gonna say like this. I guess particularly from the Caribbean background, you know, I guess you man, like you supposed to be like the man of your house, like you know, because you kind of expected to be the breadwinner, provider. You know, it's all on you. And in his case, it wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. You know, obviously she made more money, she had more prestige. She really didn't need him, and uh, and there's one part of the movie, you know, she tries to appease him, all right, because they had the interview, you know, and so she tried to appease him, you know,
Yeah,
in
yeah.
his role and in his capacity, but eventually that just wasn't enough. You know, the man, you
Right.
just want to be like the man, you know, you got your household in control and stuff like this. So you don't think all this money needs to be going out for something you don't mind, you know, supporting your wife for, but it's like at the end of the day, what are we going to be left with what are we going to be left with when everything's all said and done?
Mhm.
And you're right. So she put like, this is my money. You gonna do about it? And you know, so I can say, the Caribbean mindset is really it's like here too. You know, you got to be the man of your house and control that. And you know, so I guess it's ego, but it's just even a more cultural thing. It's a diss, if you will. And so that's a hard, bitter pill to swallow. So yeah, that's where the discord come from. And so and apparently they didn't wasn't able to make it continue.
Okay. We got Rebellious Times. Whoever you are, hey, thanks for checking in. It
What
was some envy. And then we got yup. And then we got because he's not the breadwinner. And that's what I think happened. I think when you strip a man of these things and he's not the breadwinner, he's not the focus, I think there's some envy that does come through. And it did. It ended up shining and
We don't have the sponsors yet, Ainsley.
I'm trying to get it.
I know. We're gonna get it.
You know, I definitely noticed it during the interview. Where she was trying to, big him up and, say,
right.
And then he came back, he tried, and you could tell there was some real effort going on there.
They did better than Whitney and Bobby.
You know what that crossed my mind?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought about when it was over and they let each other's hands go. I was like, well, they still did better than Whitney and Bobby. That was an epic fail there.
You know, it's difficult, and I can only imagine that it would be difficult for the man, especially like you said, Ainsley, in the Caribbean culture. You know, that's his pride right there. That you're striking. And it's not that he may not necessarily be happy for you, but I honestly think that there's a ceiling, before you get to the point where you are kind of overshadowing, where you're kind of getting a little too big for your britches, where you now take away from my role. And it was definitely readable. You could see the times throughout the movie where he was really for her.
Yeah.
There were the times when you saw in that movie that he was like, all right, enough of this nonsense.
He was like, what blind woman, what y'all doing there? Just too much, no man, too much.
And I think that's what happened during that money thing. I think it was a tug of war there. And I think he was looking to win. He was looking to see that he made sense. And he understood her, but he wanted to win that fight. And when she did that, man,
he was like, wait, I am broke. Let me shut up.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. So I think that's what really like one of the straw that broke the camel's back. Because he went down. I thought he had left out the house, but he ended up coming back. and like giving her the bank book or whatever the situation is. And just for the simple fact that he actually had his hands on it, let you know at that point that he felt that he had some say, because this is our money. And now here you are busting out with, because it's my money. And it's like, oh, okay, hold on. Let me go get you your money. And let me let you know at this time, that's what just severed us right there. So I think that was one of the things that really kind of put that one of those nails in the coffin, because she really stripped him as of that point. Serge says, yeah, he was behind her, but when it was time for her to become president, he was a bit scared. Yeah, because now you got this real powerful woman on your hands. Real powerful woman on your hands. All right, Brother Ainsley, what do you think would have happened had she actually become president?
Oh my gosh. What? I think I think things are totally across the board would be different right about now. Oh my God, that's a good question, man. I think first of all, I think things for us, that's almost a miracle. But I think things for us, to have that kind of power in the White House, but I would think it would still be somewhat kind of control, because I realize just because you got somebody as the president, there's really other people behind really moving things around, know. So, but I think that would have been, oh my gosh, a crazy jump start for our community, because things for human rights, stuff that she was for. I think back in the 70s, and we're talking almost like 50 years later. We think how much further along we would be by now if that had to happen, or if we had more of that unity back then to make that happen. That's interesting though. What if she would have became president? That's interesting though. That's an interesting question.
Shantice, as a Black woman, what do you see? What do you think would have happened back in 1972 if we actually ended up with a Black woman president?
I think good times James would have stayed, and it would have been a whole lot better. It would have been a whole lot better for the Black sitcoms on TV. I think it definitely would have set a whole different type of trend, because even though we know that principals, the presidents have. Please tell Kenny to stop commenting. Even though the presidents have people backing them, the way she wouldn't have been with that. It would have been like, okay, you're behind me, but you need to be seen and not heard, okay? Because I'm Madam President, and this is what I'm going to fight for, and this is what we are going to, the bill we're going to push, and the bill we're not going to push, and so on and so forth. I think she would have been the one, or one of the ones that would have changed that whole trajectory of how it is now. Like, okay, I am president, but I don't really get to make the final call. Yeah, no. She would, by the time she would have finished, it'd be like, I'm the president and I make the call, and yes, I have my support team, but I'm the one doing this. And it would have raised the bar for not only people who were also striving for that seat after her time, but even as a law-abiding citizen, even as a civilian. It's like, I want to be able to have standards like Shirley Chisholm. I want to be able to have that well balanced like Shirley Chisholm. She didn't always like it, but she knew when it was her moment to step down and, let someone else's ideas reign, whether she liked it or not, whether she thought it was a good idea or not, but it definitely would have really helped for a lot of women, a lot of minority women, because again, she wasn't only fighting for Black women, it was minority women, period, to just understand the importance of allowing your voice to be heard, but you still keeping your dignity. You don't have to be loud and ignorant. loud when it's time to be loud and then quiet when it's time to be quiet. But she definitely would have had that whole White House would have been completely different even to this day. Because even if the next person behind her didn't follow, it would have always been that blueprint to go back to. Like, wait a minute, because when Shirley Chisholm was in office, was like this, and the what do they call the head of security again?
Secret Service.
No, but they call them something. Whatever they call it. It's like the person who's in charge of like her whole staff. I forgot what they call it.
The chief of staff.
Yes, chief of staff. I wanted to get the exact wording.
Yeah, okay, all right.
I'm like, wait, when Olivia Pope was there, it was what again? Yeah,
right.
The chief of staff, even that would have been a certain way because she wouldn't have been about just turning her back to any position and like, that's for them to worry about. She would have been so intricate in everything. So I think it would have definitely been a much better turnaround for how things are now.
Okay. We got a check-in from our Deacon Diallo, CB Owens. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by. We're talking and we're reviewing the movie Shirley with Regina King. And the question on the table is, what do we think would have happened had she actually won in 1972? Would this nation be able to tolerate and accept a woman of color in the president's seat? Anika says it would be a problem, just like Obama with the backlash from the other side, but she would have fought harder. So you're agreeing with Shantice. In my opinion, it would have been, I don't think she would have lived. I think they would have killed her. I think they would have assassinated her, first of all, because she was a Black woman. If she kept her mouth closed, they would have killed her. But especially because of what you just described, Shantice. This was a woman who was not willing to tolerate and accept anything. She was strong. She was strong-willed. She was intelligent. She was bilingual. She actually spoke more than one language. I don't know if you remember in the beginning.
Yes.
They were speaking this. She came right back with it. So, this was a very well-educated woman. And, I don't even think it would have necessarily come from the opposite side, because it was never a theory that the white people killed Malcolm X.
No, they said it was his people.
Right. So I'm kind of believing that based on even this whole thing with her visit to George Wallace in the hospital, I think it would have been some level of upset in our community as well as across the table. And I don't think, what'd you say?
No, that's an interesting take. Yeah.
I don't think they would have
that time frame, because it was like, from the 60s into that period, there was a lot of assassinations going on.
Yeah.
Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X,
Kennedy,
the other Kennedy with other Kennedy who was running for president.
Right.
Back then, it was like, you got to go out.
Right.
And on top of that, the COINTELPRO.
Right.
One way or another, yeah.
Yes, I don't believe she would have survived. So I think I think it was a big move for her to kind of step out after the guy lied and did the old switcheroo, which I knew. I was like, why do you believe in him? I didn't even believe him when he said it. That he was going to give all of his people to her. I was like, no, you're not, you liar. And he did just that. So I think, and that was a blow. Yeah. That was a blow to her. I think she was really disappointed. There was a couple of times in this movie where she really showed the inner self. And one of the times was when she asked, where are they? Where are these people? I fought for them. And now I'm looking for them and they're not, coming for me. They're not supporting me the way I thought they would have. And I think it was Terrence Howard's character who said, "Did you really think?" Yeah, it was him. He said, "Do you really think that was going to happen?" And I think she, she trusted the guy when he did say he would, throw all his weight, and she was disappointed. So it's two times where they showed, she was really disappointed, and I honestly think that that's what would have happened when she won and she saw that she wasn't going to get all that support that she thought she would have. But I don't think she would have lasted. I don't think she would last no 4 years. They would have killed her. So thank God she didn't win. And, she was able to actually, make a difference in those areas of focus that, she fought for. So what do we have as some comments? True, they definitely would have assassinated her in that time and got a black face to do it. Oh yeah. Well, she almost died when the guy almost stabbed her. So yeah, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that they went through back then.
Right.
Yeah. They didn't care. If they didn't like you, they just killed you. It made no difference. So, this was very good, very well done for Netflix. Unlike that last review we did from Netflix.
Which one, Oppenheimer? Oh, I'm sorry, you said
not Netflix.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just heard unlike that last review.
Good Times was the last one we.
Oh my God! I'm trying to forget that, man. Please, let's not let me bring that up.
We wouldn't have been reviewing no Good Times reboot.
Oh my God! Oh my goodness. Okay, we got a comment. Yes, I agree. She wasn't afraid of anything that came her way. Absolutely. All right, Ainsley, Shirley, click it or kick it.
Click it many times. Click it, click.
All right. Shantice, click it or kick it?
Click it.
All righty. And I say click it. Come on, throw your hat in the ring. Let all your fellow 2 censors know whether they should click it or kick it. There's 3 out of 3. So we're going forward. So we can check off Shirley. We are continuing our cleaning lady. See how that's going. Then we got two suggestions. We're gonna keep that. But now that you've actually we got a vote from the Peanut Gallery. She says click it. That's another click it. Woo! Look at all these click its. We've got Anika, click it. We've got Ketty, click it. We've got Serge, click it. We've got the people texting, click it. So, whoa, this is nice. Yo, are we gonna see this in the Writers Guild Awards?
No.
Let's find out. All right. So, has
there's gonna be a situation up in here.
What'd you say?
There's gonna be a situation if it ain't on here.
Too many black people in it.
No, it's gonna be a situation. It better be up in there.
Let's see. All right, so we've got 2 suggestions on the table we're going to go forward with, and we need a movie right now while we still go through the cleaning lady. And we've got 2, but I want 2 to put on the list. Any new suggestions for movies only right now, because we got 2 series in our pocket. But do we have any movies that you would think would be good to review, Ainsley or Shantice, or whoever's in the room with us?
Movies.
I think I gave
I got another series for us to watch, but
hold that series, write it down.
I got it. I'm ready for that one.
Alrighty.
I started watching it too. So all right, that's a good one.
Okay.
What about One Love? That's streaming on Peacock, Paramount. One of those P's.
What is that?
One Love, Bob Marley, the Bob Marley movie.
It's already on.
Yeah, from last week.
All right. Well, okay.
I'm good. I'm with that one.
All right. So One Love. We are reviewing One Love, the Bob Marley biographic or biopic movie, and we are still We're going to go a little further with the cleaning lady and see if we're still going to vote to click it or kick it. So next week is good, everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So God spares. Next week we are going to review One Love, the Bob Marley biopic movie, and we're going to continue with the cleaning lady. You know what? The Plastic KL story. No, that story is not called the Plastic KL story. That story is called In My Former Life.
Right, and we hear it every day. Tune in Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear the KL story, My Former Life.
My KL story.
But before we go, is there any word on what's the movie we've been waiting for?
The Nappy Jesus. What's the name of it?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that one.
The movie,
The Book of Clarence. The Book of Clarence.
The Book of Clarence. Yes. Thank you. Let's see if the Book of Clarence is going to enter our review. Okay, the Book of Clarence streaming. It's still not free.
They are trying so hard to make money off this movie. Give it up, Jay-Z. It's not happening, bro. Just put it on whatever streaming. That's how whack it did in movies. But the One Love movie came out
in February.
No, it came out on Valentine's Day.
February.
The Book of Clarence came out in January. What are we doing? You still trying to make money off of this? Ain't nobody paying to see Jesus as a nappy head. Nobody's paying for that.
Wait, it just came in. One Love isn't free either on streaming.
Hold on, let me double check. It showed on mine. Hold on.
So we're waiting for the Book of Clarence so we can have our My Two Cents on Tuesday. Let's talk about it Tuesday.
No, it's showing that it is. It's showing as long as you have Paramount, you can watch it.
Okay, so if you have Paramount.
Hold on, give me 3 minutes past the stuff I'm about to confirm again. You talk about a hostile situation, Amy. This is gonna be a hostile situation.
All right. So we do My Two Cents on Tuesday mornings on our Let's Talk About It Tuesday Church Folk Day segment. The same three, Pastor Steph, Shantice, and Brother Ainsley. And we do only something, Christian related. In the evening time, we do whatever we want to do here. So we've been waiting for the Book of Clarence to hit the free streaming because I'm not paying for that. And, we'll see if it comes up anytime soon. So if you've got a movie, if you've watched a movie 2024, let's keep within 2024 if we can, because we want to be able to keep up with the award shows when they hit the top of 2025. So
I heard Juice came out in 2024.
I'm sorry?
I heard Juice and Minister Society came out in 2024.
You know what? More like 1994. But, so we want to make sure we keep up with things that we can now have a voice in 2025 when it comes to the Oscars, when it comes to Writers Guild Awards, when it comes to, all those other award shows that talk about movies and TV. We want to make sure that we're right up on it. And we've been talking about it. We don't want to have to catch up like we had to do this time and seek some of the stuff. And even then, we don't even look at some of the same stuff that they look at. All right. Is One Love on streaming?
Yes, it is. As long as you have Paramount, it's streaming.
All right. So Paramount is offering free viewing of the movie One Love, and it's probably on Prime Video, right? But for fee.
No, it's only
not for fee.
For free. only if you have MGM Plus, Paramount Plus. If not, you can rent it from Prime.
Right.
Yeah, you can rent it for $9.99 from Prime.
Okay, so listen, if you didn't go to the movies, but you want them to get your couple of dollars, you don't mind, then join us. But next week, Spence, next week, Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will review One Love and The Cleaning Lady. Until then, thank you so much for joining us. Come back next week with some suggestions. What have you been watching? Remember, we want to be able to see and talk about the diversity Godsphere 2025 when all of these award shows start hitting the air. So take care. It's wonderful seeing you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
What's happening there?